All right, we are going to be reviewing Coach Greg's video on yo-yo dieting. If it's something you struggled with in the past or you're struggling with now, I think this is going to be super beneficial for you. You're going to, one, leave this video not feeling alone and knowing that it is kind of normal to struggle with yo-yo dieting. It's not something you want to do, though, and I'm going to teach you at the end how to combat it. And how to fight that. I think it's just so important. So if this is something you have struggled with your mental health and yo-yo dieting and hating yourself or your body, stick around, please. This is going to be super, super helpful. We're going to hop right in. This is Coach Greg's review of another guy, Kubz Scouts. I think it's a gaming channel. I haven't looked into him, but I'm going to be reviewing some of Coach Greg's points and expanding upon them, as well as some of that Kubz Scouts guy's points about his own yo-yo dieting experience. So let's go ahead and hop right on into it, playing the first clip. I have 9 here, and I think you're really going to get a lot out of this. So let's go ahead and start.
So essentially, he's wanted to do more videos where he features himself, but he's uncomfortable with how he looks. How many of you feel like that? You're not comfortable with your appearance. You're not happy with your body, the exterior shell that you're walking in. A lot of people feel this way.
Okay, so that was the first point that I wanted to stress, was that you are not alone in this. A lot of people hate the way that they look and they hate their body, and the mental aspect of weight loss, it has a huge impact on your journey. So that is just something to really pay attention to. You are not alone in this, and this whole yo-yo dieting thing, going back and forth and hating yourself or really struggling with the mental side of things, that is normal. So that is the first thing that I want you to realize. So let's go ahead and jump back into the video, and we will see what his second point is.
I learned from a very young age that if I'm going to put something on my plate, I better make damn sure that I eat everything on my plate.
I mean, I talk about this all the time. We are raised to be like this. Eat all your food. Eat that up. There's starving people in other countries. They would dream to eat that. Eat it up. You can't waste food. Even when I do more recent videos, I say, hey, buy some food and eat it, the cookies.
Okay, so what I want to talk about here is this whole concept of eating everything on your plate. And as Coach Greg said, we are raised as kids to make sure to eat everything on our plate. There's starving kids in Africa thing. There's starving kids in other countries around the world. They would love to eat this, eat it up. That whole concept, it literally trains us as children, as we get older, to finish the plate. If we put it on our plate, we better finish it. You do not have to do that. I just want to make that point evident and clear for you. You do not have to finish your plate. And this whole concept, I know this, we're going to be getting more into yo-yo dieting here, but this whole concept of finishing your plate is just a huge detriment and its own point to be talked about. You do not have to finish everything on your plate. And that's just important. So maybe think of that, I'm hoping if you're watching this, that if you have kids, or if you're going to have kids or whatever, grandkids, I don't know, that you maybe realize what you're saying to them when you say that, and hopefully you stop, because that is, I understand, I guess I get what people are saying. We would love to have, to be able to provide food for those kids in Africa or wherever that cannot have the same food that we have here. We are blessed and we are lucky, but that's not going to change their situation by throwing food away. Maybe you can get better at the grocery store, buy less food, whatever. As time goes on, you get better and better at knowing how much food to actually get. You won't have that problem. But saying that there's hungry people elsewhere does not justify the feelings that are going to impact you when you are overweight or obese. All you're doing is hurt. They're still hungry, and now you hate yourself. So let's try to avoid that whole concept to begin with. Let's go ahead and get into his next point here.
Did that.
And it caused me to get made fun of a lot. I got roasted a lot about my weight. Every time I tried to do sports, I got made fun of, just because I was overweight and I was slow.
And so you eat, you keep eating, you gain weight. Now you're obese.
Okay. Pains me for this guy. And if you're in the same situation, I mean, that is, that is why I do what I do. It is hard, especially growing up. If you have grown up and you have been made fun of. I mean, I was in that exact same boat. You're made fun of, and sports, you're picked last, whatever. I mean, the list goes on of things that happen, the bullying that happens. But that just adds to this deep psychological root of yo-yo dieting and we're going to get into a little more here soon on some points as to how that impacts you. But it is this deep psychological strain that you might very well relate with, that we hate ourselves. We hate our body because it costs us relationships. And that was just an example from that kid's youth. But as adults, same thing, but definitely that might spur up some deep-rooted fear in your heart from when you were younger. So this is, again, a mental issue. This yo-yo dieting thing is not just physical. It is not just weight loss. It is deeper than that, and that was why I wanted to show you that. So let's go ahead and hop into the next one here.
And I think this is what triggered me to never want to do in real life stuff. I stepped on the scale, and it was the most weight that I've ever seen in my life.
He gained 100 pounds. He was 168 pounds, and then later almost 270 pounds.
And I was just embarrassed. I was embarrassed with myself because I let myself go.
He let himself go, neglected his weight, was just focused on being the best worker he could be, but neglected his health.
Okay, so what I wanted to show you with that point there, that the stepping on the scale and being embarrassed, being ashamed, again, this is a mental attack. And it's something that we need to guard ourselves against. And that is a big reason this guy yo-yo diets. And I'm sure, again, you can relate to this. This is very relatable. A lot of people go through this. So in regard to stepping on the scale and all of a sudden you've gained that weight back and then some, that is so painful. And trust me, I understand how it is. I understand how it feels. And that's what leads to this psychological yo-yo dieting where, okay, I am embarrassed, ashamed, feel completely defeated because I lost all that weight and gained all that back and more. And so now we grit our teeth and we white knuckle even harder and then lose that weight again probably, or at least some of it, and then quit the diet. And then again, that's the whole definition of yo-yo diets, on, off, on, off, on, off. And when we go back to our old ways, we're going to gain that weight back. So I'm going to get in very soon about how to actually combat this, but that is a phenomenon that happens with yo-yo dieting. It is very common to not only gain some of it back, but to gain all of it back and more. You would have been better off never having explored a healthier lifestyle. And that's really, really sad. And so again, I want to bring awareness to yo-yo dieting and the dangers of it by expanding upon these points. Let's go ahead and get into the next one.
And I went from 260 something to about 215, 216. And it showed in the videos. Like I started getting thinner and thinner and thinner.
And he lost 50 pounds in 4 or 5 months. Saying, well, it might not have been ideal. It's a crash diet. This is yo-yo dieting that doesn't work, which is what people all want. They want to see the results like this, like that, right away. The slower you lose the weight, the better. The best diet, the only diet you should ever follow is the diet you can stick to for the rest of your life. It has to be a realistic diet that tastes amazing, that keeps you full.
Okay, so the point there is what Coach Greg said, which is one of the big problems is that people expect results so quick. I get this with all my clients. And sometimes I can't fully be honest with them. I can't tell them, I would like you to see me or a trainer or just be on your goals here, be applying yourself to fitness for 2 years. If they have 100 pounds to lose, we're looking at a 2-year journey. You can lose weight faster. I mean, I guess you can lose 1% of your body fat per week, but as Coach Greg said, the slower, the better. The reason for that is because the slower it is, the closer you are to not starving yourself out, crash dieting. Crash diet, you will lose weight faster. That is also muscle. You're not just losing body fat. So your metabolism is going to slow. I'm sure you've heard a story or two of someone who lost a bunch of weight really fast and they stopped. They just couldn't lose any more. That's because out of the 50 pounds they lost, 25 of it was muscle. And now they have less muscle, which means they're burning less calories per day, which means when they gain all that weight back and now they still have less muscle, now the second time they go through, the next yo-yo diet they go through is going to be even harder for them. So slowing down and having, I mean, you will feel an important part to remember is that, let's say you have 70 pounds to lose. At the 20-pound weight loss mark, you're going to feel great. You're going to start feeling more confident. The satisfaction doesn't happen at the end and all of a sudden you're satisfied. In fact, I bet you'll never fully be satisfied with your body, and that's okay. It's the journey, and we're getting into that right now. It is the journey that is going to be so valuable for you. So I want to make sure you know, slow down a little bit, be realistic about the amount of time it's going to take. And like I said, we're going to get more into that later. Let's go ahead and move on to the next point here.
Diet. I suggest he eats from my cookbook. Did you know that was coming? Low-calorie, delicious meals that are massive and filling.
Okay, so that is a plug for his cookbook. I do not get paid to say that at all. I don't sell this. I don't get a kickback from that. I'm off screen. Sorry. I don't get a kickback from that. I truly believe in his cookbook. I believe that his cookbook allows you to eat more food, and it is delicious and it is healthier. He basically takes each ingredient and finds an alternative, or if at all possible, finds a lower calorie alternative that still tastes good. It really, really works. I love it. The constant promotion that I'm going to be running, my personal training services online where I coach you and help you with your goals, my clients find great success, is $189 a month. If you buy his cookbook and you show me, and again, I don't get paid for that, so this is how much I believe in this. If you buy his cookbook and you show me your receipt, you will get the first month of my personal training services completely for free. So in a roundabout way, you're kind of getting a free cookbook because you end up saving more money than you even paid for this cookbook. This cookbook's $149. My personal training services are $189. You get more than $149 free by worth of personal training by doing that cookbook. I truly believe in it. So please, I have a video on here where that's all I talk about is this cookbook. Go check that out. I've done it kind of recently from the upload date of this video. So feel free to check that out. And it has glowing reviews from me and many, many other people. It will change your life. I truly believe that it will impact you greatly. So next point.
It's one thing to achieve the goal, and it's another to maintain that goal. It's a lot easier to lose the weight to get to that point than it is to keep it off for the rest of your life. Most people can diet hard for 3 or 4 months, but once you've lost the weight, you now have to keep going. You don't have that reflection in the mirror every week looking back at you looking leaner or more muscular. What?
Okay, so the point here is keeping it off versus taking it off. Taking it off is easy. I'm sure you've heard countless stories of people who have lost a bunch of weight, and again, they got stuck, and maybe they didn't gain it back right away, but follow them for 5 years. You know, think back. After 5 years, did they still have that weight taken off? Because that is the most difficult part. Anyone can grit their teeth long enough for 3, 4, 5, 6 months, maybe up to a year, maybe longer, and lose a ton of weight. It's hard to keep it off. I say this from personal experience, and we're going to get into solutions to that in a bit. But keeping it off is so difficult, and having those realistic expectations of what can you maintain for the rest of your life. If you get halfway to your goal, but you maintain that forever, and that wouldn't that be miles better than achieving your goal and maybe then even more, and you look better than you ever thought? And then you gain all of that back and even more, and you look worse than you ever thought? I mean, how detrimental is that on your mind? And we could completely save ourselves from that if we're realistic about, okay, I'm going to maintain this. You can always pick back up and improve later. Let's just maintain this good physique for a while. Maybe it's not everywhere you want to be, but can you maintain an 80% of where you wanted to be physique? So take that into consideration. And again, that is very closely related to some points I'm going to give you on how to combat yo-yo dieting. So stick around. We're about to get there. We have our last clip coming up, I believe, right here.
In the best shape of my life.
Hey, and when you do join back the gym, don't go harder than last time right away. Go easier than last time to start. Just go through the motions until you get used to it. And then go harder than last time as you get used to it. You can't just join back the gym on day one and squat a PR. It's not how it works. The first day you start, go easy. Try not to get sore and progressive overload.
Okay, so I just wanted to make a point here before we get into how to combat yo-yo dieting. I wanted to get into the point here of what he's saying, which is to ease back into the gym. If you had success and then you backed away and now you're starting that process again, don't pick up where you left off. If that ever happens to me, which usually doesn't, but sometimes I'll go into the gym, if I'm having to reset, and I might only do 3-4 sets and then I'm done. It's like a 15-minute workout. Not that I want to be, it's just, I can feel my legs just ain't with it. And the next day they're going to be, as he said, try to avoid being sore. That's really hard whenever you're getting back into it, to avoid being sore, but try not to kill yourself. Otherwise, you won't be back in the gym for a week, and that'll really ruin your goals of getting back to it. But I also, at the very beginning of that clip, wanted to catch the part where he said he's going to really hit it this time. I forget exactly how he phrased it, but I feel my heart breaks for this guy because he's done this twice. He's lost 70, 80 pounds, whatever, 50 pounds. He lost a lot of weight and he gained it back and more. And now what he's saying on his YouTube channel is, hey guys, follow along with me. I'm going to hit it this time. I'm going to get this. And he says, I'm going to do this for my kids. We're going to get into that and some points on battling yo-yo dieting, but I'm going to do this for my kids. I'm really going to hit this. Follow me. I don't know. I mean, he's already done this twice. Maybe instead of really hitting this, maybe it should be slower, a little more realistic. Instead of 5 months for his transformation, maybe it should be a year and a half. And that'll really help. That year and a half will allow him to eat more. He'll be more satisfied with his diet. He'll be able to eat Coach Greg's food, where he gets to have a lot of food. And you literally are eating more food than ever on Coach Greg's diet or his cookbook. And maybe he does that and he loses weight slowly and he actually learns to enjoy the process. We're about to go over all this. And when he does that, then it'll be permanent. I would much rather a slow transformation, year and a half, 2 years, 3 years. I don't know if you have enough weight to lose, than to hear that you're on your third go around and now you're really going to hit it. So just defend against that. I know that's not fun to say, hey, you got to really slow this down, but it will help you. If you follow that piece of advice, you will be so much more successful than if you hit it hard and go. So let's go ahead and jump into some of these points. So how do you end yo-yo dieting? That is what the topic of this video has been leading to. How do you end it? How do you beat it? Well, the first point that I want to make is it has to be a diet you can actually stick to forever, for the rest of your life. Can you ask yourself and be honest in answering yes, that I could do this forever? If you can't, of course you're going to go back to what got you there in the first place. If you kick out all carbs, if you could do that forever, I mean, I'm not a big fan of that in the first place, but if you can do that forever and you lose all the weight and you're like, yep, I could eat meat and cheese the rest of my life. I don't know. I mean, again, I'm not telling you to go out and do that, but if you can do that forever, then that's going to be a diet for you. As Coach Greg said somewhere in these clips, the best diet is the one you can stick to. It is cliche, but it is true. It has become cliche, but it shouldn't be cliche. It is very, very true. You have to be able to stick to it forever. So that is the first point, is a diet you can actually stick to forever. The second point is realistic expectations of results in time. I've talked a little bit about this. Think in your head, this is going to take me 2 years. Think about 1 pound a week, roughly. No matter how much you have to lose, 1 pound a week is going to be a really good place for you to gauge a slow progression. So if you have 20 pounds to lose, 20 weeks, that's not too bad. If you have 100 pounds to lose, 100 weeks, it's going to take you 2 years. And I know it can feel slow, but I promise, here's the key, and here's what I really want you to grasp onto. You don't have to wait 2 years to feel good. You don't have to wait 2 years to go back to normal, because again, we just said your diet is forever. So you're eating this way forever. So you're not going back to anything, and you're going to start feeling good at 10 pounds, 20 pounds, when you have to go get new pants at 30 pounds. These things are going to feel amazing. You're going to feel great, and you're going to actually stick to it because you're enjoying the journey. That is so key. So third point is learning to include holidays into your diet. I have seen it too many times. Even whenever you're dieting slow, even whenever you follow all these other points, birthday comes up, Christmas comes up, Thanksgiving, and then Christmas, and then New Year's, and your goals are ruined because you you haven't eaten like that in forever. You feel this guilt, it creeps in, and then you fall off your diet. And then New Year's rolls around and you've gained back 10 pounds and you feel horrible. When it doesn't go perfect, you quit. And then maybe somewhere around June, July, August, or maybe coming into the holidays of the next year, you start up again. That is yo-yo dieting. So we have got to learn how to include those in our goals. And that just is simply, I mean, there's some mini points here within this point. So that is simply learning to food log and logging that in there. You know, so you log your breakfast, you log your lunch. I have other videos on food logging. Go watch those. Log breakfast, log lunch, and your dinner. You're going to log it. You're going to guess the best you can at family Christmas dinner. And maybe you're high on your calories. Maybe you ate a little bit too much pie, but it's okay. Whenever you break down the calories, you look, oh, I was only 1,000 calories over. It's not good. I don't want you to be 1,000 calories over every day, but you have to remember you were already at least 500 calories under your maintenance. So what? You're 500 calories over your maintenance? How much is that? I should have had this ready. I'll pull up a calendar or a calculator and show you how much that is. A pound of body fat is 500 or is 3,500 calories. So if you overate by 500 calories from your maintenance, you gained 14% of a pound. You gained 14% of a pound. I don't even know what that is. That is just nothing to beat yourself up over. But yet when you don't know and you don't food log and you don't apply yourself to the knowledge of knowing how much you took in that day, and you give up, you say, you know what, I'm not going to food log today because I ate too much food. Well, then you feel bad and you have no idea. I mean, you could eat 2,000 calories over. And if you were already hovering around 1,000 calories under, you gained less than a third of a pound. That is ridiculously easy to lose. You've lost 10, 20, 30, 40, 50 pounds. You can easily lose a third of a pound. Don't freak out. It's okay. So we got to learn how to include those holiday calories into our diet, because this is a diet that you're going to do forever. Are you going to skip out on Christmas forever? Probably not. So you've got to learn how to eat at Christmas. I just keep using that as an example, but you've got to learn to eat at Thanksgiving. You've got to learn to do those things and include that in your diet, and take a day off. It's fine. Get on it the next day. That's the key. When you get off and you stay off, that's bad. When you get off and you get right back on, you're good to go. And what would be better than not getting off and getting right back on your plan is including it in part of the plan. So take that for what you will. I have other videos on that. I know that's a deep topic, but learn how to eat at holidays. Last point here is, seriously and honestly, you have to say that you're doing this for fun and to feel good and for your health. If you're doing this to look better, you will never look exactly how you want to look. Maybe you will, maybe, but there's something to doing this when it's fun, when going to the gym and feeling that way and feeling good and feeling confident. When that's your goal, when that's your motivation, and when you're doing this to be healthy, when you're doing this to be around for your kids, to walk your daughter down the aisle, to be around for grandkids. And I mean, we don't even consider this a possibility anymore nowadays, but you can. If you care about your health, you can be here for your great grandkids. You can have those 4-generation videos that are so fun to watch on Facebook or whatever. I saw one time. Maybe you've seen one. But it is so game-changing when you do this for you instead of for how you'll look. Because when you do it for how you look, ultimately you're pretty much doing that for other people, which is fine. That's not a bad goal. It's just I would like your primary goal to get to. And it doesn't have to start off this way, but I promise it'll probably morph to where you do it for yourself, for how you feel. And the confidence you have in going to weddings and feeling good that you get a new, tuxedo and it's actually slim fit, or you get a new dress and it's you feel confident in it. And that's how you feel. Very closely related, how you look and how you feel, your confidence because of how you look. But when it's done more for you, that's where whenever you do this for fun, I think you're really going to strike that key. And that is how you defeat yo-yo dieting. And those 4 tips, go back, watch them again. Watch the 4 tips again, because if you are struggling with this is so detrimental to your health. If you go up and down and up and down and up and down, I will include a link to this video in the description, so you can go watch Coach Greg's full video if that is something you like. But you saw it in some of my clips, so you'll see it in more of his, and then especially the original Kubz Scouts clip or video. There's pain there, and I'm sure you can relate to that. It is painful to go back and forth and to hate your body. And there's that psychological element to it that I said at the beginning of this video that is just so important to combat and to fight. So guys, I hope that helps. And if you are struggling with your weight and with yo-yo dieting and with obesity, subscribe to my channel. It's all I talk about. I talk about weight loss and fat loss, and that is it. I used to say that in all my original videos, that all I talk about. Look at the titles of all of my videos. The only thing that you're going to see in there is weight loss and fat loss, or some type of diet, or achieving your health goals with weight. You know, we can get into a conversation of weight versus circumference and all that stuff. I'm saying to lose weight and to feel better and to master this aspect of your health, subscribe to my channel. Start watching through the videos. It is going to make a world of difference for you whenever you immerse yourself in weight loss and good weight loss advice. Subscribe to Coach Greg. He is one of the best coaches on the internet, I believe. He's one of the best coaches in the world for weight loss and fat loss. As I said towards the middle-ish of the video, buy his cookbook. And then reach out to me for personal training because you get a free month anyway. You may as well. Buy his cookbook. It will be game-changing for you to be able to eat more food than ever. I promise. I have it. I cook with it. You will be able to eat more food than ever on less calories. That is the key. And it really does taste good. Is it as good? No, not as good, but almost as good. And that is so key to defeating yo-yo dieting. So guys, have a great one. I'll see you in the next video. You got this. You're going to beat this. I believe in you. Reach out to me for tips, advice, comment on a video. I'll leave my email in the description if you want any personal training. See you in the next one. God bless.